At a posh banquet at Delmonico's restaurant in Manhattan in 1889, Mark Twain declared baseball to be the very symbol, the outward and visible expression of the drive and push and rush and struggle of the raging, tearing, booming 19th century. It is a frequently quoted remark, so you may have heard it before. But what is much less remembered is that Twain was inspired to utter those words by the safe return of a group of ballplayers from an extended overseas voyage. 6 months earlier, just a week after the end of the 1888 season, Chicago White Sox outfielder Jimmy Ryan had written in his diary, "In order to further promote the interests of baseball, a few gentlemen from Chicago undertook to establish the national game of America upon foreign soil. Accordingly, on the 20th of October, 1888, they, in company with a number of ballplayers, reporters, and tourists, left Union Depot on an expedition." Today, the diary that chronicles their excursion is part of the collection at the Hall of Fame. The 25-year-old Ryan had just completed a breakout season that saw him lead the National League in hits, doubles, home runs, and slugging percentage. A very eligible bachelor whose Irish heritage made him the hero of the Chicago bleacherites, the dashing and charismatic Ryan could have spent his offseason in any number of pursuits. But when White Stockings owner Albert Goodwill Spalding broached the idea of an ambitious tour that would bring the national pastime to Australia by way of the Sandwich Islands, today known as Hawaii, Ryan and other stars readily agreed to take part. The appeal of a cruise in the South Pacific during the cold winter months should need no more explanation today than it did 130 years ago. What may be more difficult to appreciate from a 21st century vantage point is the pride, excitement, and even incredulity that this venture inspired. To begin with, only 15 years had passed since Jules Verne's novel Around the World in 80 Days had created a worldwide sensation. More fundamentally, many Americans could still vividly recall an era when even the most fanciful novelists would not have dared to propose such a plot because so much of the globe was still shrouded in mystery. Indeed, even within America itself, westward travel from the towns and cities of the East had long been complicated by a vast mountain range. Today, that entire range is known as the Appalachians, and only one portion of it as the Alleghenies. But until the 20th century, it was more common to refer to the entire chain as the Alleghenies, a nickname embraced by Pittsburgh's first major league club. By any name, the mountain range represented a seemingly impenetrable barrier to early European settlers and their descendants. During the 1750s, American colonists built the first true road through the Alleghenies and became aware of the Cumberland Gap, one of the routes that Native Americans had long used, opening up the West for travel. But constructing an entire infrastructure was a daunting task, so progress was often slowed by abominable roads, and it was not uncommon to reach a place where there was no road at all and have to turn back. Mishaps were also frequent, particularly on steep slopes, where carriage drivers had to instruct their passengers to shift to the left or the right to try to prevent the carriage from tipping over. All of these considerations meant that even after the 1804 to 1806 Lewis and Clark expedition created excitement about the possibilities that lay to the west, transporting either people or goods remained expensive, dangerous, and extraordinarily slow. It was not uncommon for Americans of European descent to spend their entire lives within a 10-mile radius of their birthplace, and to regard with bewilderment anyone who sought to venture farther afield. Only 4 decades before Jimmy Ryan and his fellow players set out on their all-around-the-world tour, many of the goal rushers of 1849 traveled to California by means of an expensive 3-month sea voyage around South America rather than risking the hazards of interior travel. In the final decade of the 18th century, a few visionaries outlined plans for steamboats capable of traversing interior waterways and ending Americans' dependence upon the currents. They were laughed at, but in the early years of the 19th century, the steamboat caught on, and before long, Americans were building massive canals that made it possible to form communities in previously landlocked areas of the Midwest. When those canals caused the cost of grain shipments to plummet, it started a clamor for new and better modes of transportation. In 1823, the American lawyer and politician Charles Ingersoll boasted that in a matter of years, when all the great canals now in progress shall be completed, an internal navigation of 10,000 miles will belt this country from the Great Western Valley to the waters of the Hudson and the Chesapeake. But before that could happen, a new challenger appeared, and soon the railroad was drawing similar raves. In 1827, only 4 years after the steamboat had looked like the wave of the future, the editor of Baltimore's Niles Weekly Register, a normally cautious periodical, enthused that the railroad would enable scientific power to conquer space, making even the Alleghenies sink and the laws of gravity give way. But despite these dramatic improvements to the speed and cost of travel, the dangers remain large, the more so because many travelers were downright reckless in their determination to get somewhere, anywhere, faster than anyone else. A long series of boiler explosions and deadly fires took place aboard steamboats in the middle years of the century, and all too often they were the result of trying to get somewhere much more rapidly than was safely possible. Want to know why boilers bust on leaving shore? Asked a veteran captain in dismay in 1840. Because steamboat men and even passengers have a pride in making a display of speed. Yet railroad accidents were at least as common and as deadly, leading canal builders to unsuccessfully lobby for legislation against their main competitor. Nothing, it seemed, could stem the wanderlust of Americans. In 1847, the editor of the Spirit of the Times, one of the first periodicals to provide significant coverage of sporting events, had this to say: "Go ahead is the motto of the Yankees. Everybody in the country struggles to be in advance of his neighbor, and whether the deuce takes the hindmost or whatever else becomes of them, nobody cares. In spite of preaching, people will take the fastest boat and fastest train. It matters not how thin-timbered and rickety the one, or how crazy the road the other runs over. Beat, the Yankees must, shipwrecks, blow up and tear up, to the contrary notwithstanding. Now and then a disaster happens. A dozen, 30, 50 lives are lost. The people stop and scold for a moment. The press thunders. Everybody is virtuously indignant. And then things move on as before." It was no wonder that Mark Twain referred to the drive and push and rush and struggle of the raging, tearing, booming 19th century. One of the reasons that so little heed was paid to the rash of accidents was that there was suddenly so much to be gained by generating any amount of extra speed. Business owners accustomed to relying upon the same local supply chains now found that fortunes were riding on the ability to get a product somewhere faster than rival firms, making it necessary to take risks. Before long, a host of industrious folks were knocking on the doors of Americans in far-flung places and offering them the opportunity to purchase all sorts of goods. Eventually, men who pursued this profession became known as traveling salesmen, but initially they were called drummers because they were taking advantage of their new mobility to drum up business. The sudden new access to faraway places exerted a powerful influence over every aspect of American life, including leisure activities like baseball. With the nation's busy cities increasingly plagued by noise and pollution, one of the most popular uses of the new modes of transportation was as an escape from the hubbub. As more and more urban residents began using weekends and holidays to take excursions to nowhere, picnic groves and other alluring destinations proliferated on the outskirts of major cities. Before long, specific railroad lines were being designed for this purpose, with Atlantic City becoming known as the lungs of Philadelphia because of the popularity of the weekend trains that took passengers from the big city to that tranquil seaside community. Two other New Jersey towns that played similar roles were the longtime homes of extremely influential pioneer baseball clubs. Camden served as the home base of the Olympic Club of Philadelphia, while Hoboken's Elysian Fields did so for the Knickerbocker Club and numerous other New York City clubs. The Knickerbockers had already been forced to vacate a couple of sites in Manhattan before settling at the Elysian Fields in the mid-1840s. So in the absence of a ferry to Hoboken, their members might have been forced to give up baseball entirely. Instead, the club thrived in its new home, creating the rules that became the basis of the original regulation or New York version of baseball. That brings us to the fascinating question of why there was no standard version of baseball before the Knickerbockers version was widely adopted in the 1850s. Many explanations have been offered, but none is more compelling than the simplest one. Americans didn't travel around enough for there to be any need for such uniformity. Once that need was created by the rapid transformation of Americans into what English writer Frederick Marryat called a restless locomotive people, the many regional variants were fused into that single regulation version in surprisingly little time, notwithstanding the fondness of many players for the rules and customs of other bat and ball games. The reward for standardization, however, was that it became possible for players in one community to compete against rivals from other communities, and in a few cases to host one of the game's legendary clubs. Particularly noteworthy in this regard were two tours that the renowned Excelsior Club of Brooklyn took in the summer of 1860, first to 5 cities in upstate New York, and later to Philadelphia and Baltimore. With the new rules still unfamiliar in many of those cities, the host clubs viewed the games as an honor and as an opportunity to receive expert instruction. In Buffalo, for example, members of the Niagara Club took great pains to ensure the comfort of their guests, meeting them at the depot, hosting them for dinner, and providing them with a tour of Niagara Falls. They were just as willing pupils the next day on the baseball diamond, paying close attention to the manner in which the Brooklyn chaps handled the ball, the ease and certainty with which they caught it under all circumstances, the precision with which they threw it to the bases, and the tremendous hits they gave it into the long field. The Niagara Club itself went on to become one of the era's most successful clubs. But even in cities where the host club did not achieve glory of its own, the Excelsior's tours provided a great boost for baseball in general, and the Knickerbockers' rules in particular, by inspiring the formation of new clubs, many of which even adopted the Excelsior name. Many years later, an attendee recounted his cherished memories of that first opportunity to witness baseball played so expertly, then added his conviction that those 1860 tours had played a crucial role in the game's establishment on a broad and firm foundation as a national sport. The following spring, the first shots of the Civil War were fired at Fort Sumter by baseball's mythical inventor, Abner Doubleday, bringing baseball tours to an abrupt halt. The Civil War has often been credited with helping to spur baseball's dramatic post-war growth by bringing young men from various parts of the country into close proximity. The lulls in the fighting were more suited to informal ball play than the new regulation version of the game, and it appears to have been significantly more common for schools to be the place where such mingling helped to spread the word. Fort Wayne native Bob Fisher, for instance, founded that city's Kikianga Club around 1866 after returning home from school in New Jersey and discovering that nobody in Fort Wayne was familiar with the new version. I was chock full of the game, which was enthusing the sport-loving fans of the East, Fisher recalled many years later. I felt lonesome without the game and began to work up an interest among the young fellows who had the time for practice. Since the new ease of transportation allowed many parents the luxury of sending their children to faraway schools, that same story played out in countless American communities. Indeed, in at least one instance, this method of diffusion led to baseball's introduction in a foreign country where it was to experience phenomenal success. After learning the game as a student at Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama, Nemesio Guillo brought baseball back to his native Cuba in 1864. When the Civil War ended in 1865, the efforts of these students were complemented by the resumption of baseball tours, including several that took advantage of the rapidly expanding network of railroads to cross the mighty Alleghenies. In 1867, the National Club of Washington toured the Midwest and racked up a series of one-sided victories before a shocking defeat to the Forest City Club of Rockford, Illinois, that launched the career of a teenage pitcher from Rockford, none other than Albert Goodwill Spalding. The tour was such a sensation that a tune titled Home Run Polka was written and published in the National Club's honor. And on return, shortstop George Wright was presented with a trophy bat with 2 silver plates inscribed as follows: score of Western trip, games 10, runs 92, hands lost 12, and awarded to Geo Wright by the National BBC of Washington, D.C. for best general play during their tour west, July 1867. 2 years later, another tour of the Midwest by a different club from our nation's capital team provided a vivid reminder that while the railroads made such jaunts possible, they were still fraught with hazards. When the Olympic Club of Washington, D.C. missed its train from Cincinnati to Philadelphia, the hardy Patriots were forced to ask the operators of a freight train to hitch an extra boxcar to the end and let them ride in it. It was a very uncomfortable way of traveling any distance, let alone a 600-mile overnight trip through the Alleghenies. But the do-or-die spirit carried them through, and they arrived in Philadelphia an hour before game time, allowing them to clean off the dust with a bath in the Schuylkill River. With each tour, the bonds between two regions long separated by a seemingly impassable mountain range were strengthened, and so too was baseball's status as the national pastime. In 1868, George F. Sands of Cincinnati became the first Midwesterner to serve as president of baseball's first governing body, the National Association of Baseball Players. And in accepting the position, he described the honor not as a personal compliment, but as one accorded to the states west of the Allegheny Mountains, where our national game now flourishes to an extent unequaled in the rapidity of growth in popularity in the annals of baseball. 1 year later, the standard bearer for Sands' hometown, the Red Stockings, helped to add another region to that mix by taking advantage of the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad to make the once arduous trip to California for a series of baseball games. That Cincinnati Red Stockings club also marked the advent of open professionalism, which left many cities fielding teams devoid of players with local ties. Such men had less reason to view themselves as ambassadors for that community, and some even conducted themselves in ways that brought it disrepute. Only 3 years after Bob Fisher founded the Kikianga Club of Fort Wayne, the team made the transition to professionalism by joining the first professional league, the National Association. But according to one disgusted observer, the players who were hired made the name of the club, hard as it is to speak, a byword and reproach wherever they stopped by their wanton behavior. The Kikiangas disbanded without completing the season. Fortunately, that was an extreme example, and many players still tried to uphold the good name of the city they represented, with some looking to find ways to continue the spread of the game. By then, Albert Spalding was one of the National Association's brightest stars, and in January 1874, he traveled to England to arrange a summer tour of that country by his Boston team and the Philadelphia Athletics. For those in charge of most early professional teams, a more pressing concern than spreading the game of baseball was staying financially solvent. And here too, travel was of critical importance. While the railroads made it possible for teams to spend the summer traveling the country to play baseball, the expenses of doing so remained enormous. With red ink the norm, early teams tried to limit their traveling parties to 9 or 10 men, with the 10th man often a beleaguered manager who would have to scramble to find a substitute if an injury took place. For that matter, managers often left strategy to the team captain in order to devote more time to scheduling, a slow and tedious process that typically involved posting a lot of letters, checking each reply against train schedules to figure out whether it was possible to get the team to that destination, making the necessary reservations, and then hoping against hope that the game did not run long. Understandably, the managers who were most proficient at juggling all of these tasks were dubbed hustlers. There is no better demonstration of the critical importance of travel than the fact that 19th century games often ended early because a team had to catch a train. Despite all the miles that had to be traveled and the constant rush to get from place to place, accidents were so rare that it became a maxim that sharing a train with ball players meant a safe arrival. After the National League was founded in 1876, there were more welcome developments, beginning 1 year later when the onerous responsibility of scheduling league games was centralized. By the 1880s, profits had begun to replace red ink, with lower railroad fares one of the most significant factors. In the years that followed, the continued expansion of the nation's train network was a great boon to professional teams, enabling all or most of the teams in many leagues to be joined together by a single railroad line, and inspiring some to begin the custom of conducting spring training in warmer climes. Even after the advent of league-wide schedules, managers were kept extremely busy making travel arrangements, since financial success still depended upon filling in as many off days as possible with games against non-league clubs. And inevitably, whenever everything seemed to be in place, inclement weather or an injury or the change plans of an upcoming opponent would necessitate making new arrangements on the fly. Speaking of which, when Jimmy Ryan made his initial diary entry in the fall of 1888, he referred to the overseas expedition as the Spalding Australian Baseball Tour. Ryan and his fellow players had been told that their final destination was Australia, where they would put on displays of baseball being played at its highest levels, and Spalding would set up markets for his sporting goods firm to sell baseball implements and other sporting goods paraphernalia. Instead, midway through the trip, Spalding approached Ryan and his fellow players with the idea of extending the voyage beyond Australia. Yet, as historian Mark Lamster argues in his insightful history of the tour, the apparent change of plans that Spalding announced was almost certainly something that Spalding had been planning all along. Why the subterfuge? The most obvious reason was that the traveling party included Giants shortstop John Ward, the leader of a recently formed players' union. And it just so happened that it would be very handy to have him out of the country when Spalding and his fellow owners announced their plans to revise their labor policy and curtail player salaries for the 1889 season. In any event, the players jubilantly assented, and since they learned of the change while aboard ship in the Pacific, what choice did they have? An ambitious outing was essentially transformed into an around-the-world tour, and in the months that followed, the ballplayers continued their travels by means of rickshaws, camels, ships, trains, and horses, paid visits to such sites as the Eiffel Tower, the Great Sphinx, and the Colosseum, and gave displays of America's national pastime to a handful of monarchs and countless commoners. As they traversed the globe, Spalding continued to pursue new markets for his sporting goods firm. When the world tourists returned from their travels unscathed, they were treated as conquering heroes and honored with the banquet where Twain offered that memorable tribute. Ryan had chronicled each new adventure in his diary and concluded his final entry with these words: "Today we have completed the circumference of the globe. We have given exhibitions of our national game in every continent on the face of the globe, and also 13 foreign countries, and traveled upward of a distance of 30,000 miles." The entry gave no indication of whether Ryan believed the world tour had accomplished the goal he had set out in the diary's first entry of establishing the national game of America upon foreign soil, and he and his companions had not seen many encouraging signs. All too often, the ball games were met with incomprehension rather than interest, and seemed to have been quickly forgotten. Recalling a game played by the tourists near the Great Pyramid of Giza, newspaper correspondent Harry Palmer marveled at the actions of the natives during the games. When a ball was thrown wild or batted into the crowd, the entire aggregation of white-robed sons of the desert would chase after it, capture it, and crowd around to examine it, utterly indifferent or thoughtless of the fact that we might want the ball for playing, and as though it was one of the greatest curiosities they had ever seen. In such cases, the game was suspended until the teams had attacked the mob in a body and rescued the ball. But it would be going too far to conclude that the World Tour of 1888-89 did nothing to help baseball's growth in foreign lands. Despite the lack of tangible results, the expeditions continued, including another world tour after the 1913 season and many less ambitious ventures. Many of the countries that played host to these exhibitions showed just as little interest, but there were already some notable instances where baseball had taken root, such as Cuba and Japan, and their number continued to increase in the years that followed. Reflecting this hit-and-miss process, while baseball today is by no means popular in every part of the world, there is a long list of countries that share the American passion for the game, and the contributions of numerous foreign players have thrilled Major League fans, especially in recent years. Jimmy Ryan, Albert Goodwill Spalding, and the rest of the world tourists helped to set that in motion with their historic tour. Although the ballplayer's knack for safe travels had accompanied Ryan on that expedition, his good fortune ran out 4 years later. In August of 1893, while traveling through Ohio en route to a game, the train carrying the Chicago team ran off the rails and crashed into a stationary freight train. His teammates escaped serious injury, but Ryan was left covered in blood from cuts to his head, face, neck, arms, and legs, and missed the remainder of the season. One of the sporting presses reported the shocking news beneath the headline, "Same old luck, ball players impervious to fatal accidents on the rail." Jimmy Ryan returned to the Chicago outfield the following May. Echoing the words of the spirit of the times half a century earlier, in a go-ahead country, accidents sometimes happened and a temporary pause was needed, but then things moved on as before.
Good morning. morning. This is Donald Blomdahl, Hall of Fame veteran, sports cards and collectibles. Coming to you live from Arlington, Washington. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that lecture number 7, Baseball Grows by Hitting the Road. I like this series. That's why I wanted to be able to share it with everybody in the channels. Appreciate everybody that might be here. I know we got shows 3 people watching in the background here. But other than that, I think we are good to go. So back to finishing up with our part 2 of our stream, Family Mail Call, Left Behind Times, part 8. Just wanted to give you a quick update and take care of a few matters of business for our stream today. We're a half hour into the stream. The first half hour of my Thursday streams is my lecture series, lecture number 7. Next week will be lecture number 8. All right. And this video series of Play Ball. It's a 24 lecture series, so we'll be doing 24 total weeks in this set. So awesomeness. So we will be getting ready just in a few minutes here to go over this, and I'll tell you what I found out about this baseball card. I know Left Behind, I told him I would get back to him after I further investigated the back of the baseball card. I'll explain it when we get to that. I did kind of shift. Left Behind is right behind here. The anchor holds Left Behind's card. Cal Ripken Jr., his autograph card that he gave me. Like the backstory on that baseball card. And then, of course, I will go over this. And then we will pull out the next 3 packs here and go into this. But first, I got to get my entries into the free giveaway for October. After today, we have tomorrow and Saturday to do that. Tomorrow will be our Hall of Fame Friday, 1938. 1938 will be the year for tomorrow. I believe there's 3 Hall of Famers for tomorrow and our Hall of Fame Friday. Yes, the 3 Hall of Famers will be Grover Cleveland Alexander, Alexander Cartwright, and Henry Chadwick will be our Hall of Fame inductees for tomorrow. But for today, let me get our free entries into the Wheel of Names real quick while I'm here. We've got Robert Hone gets an entry, Bibby Bobka gets an entry, John Fishman gets 2 entries because of his super emoji that I received during the lecture series. It's just as easy for me to type it in here real quick. All right, so I've got 4 more entries into oops, sorry, what did I do? Oh, not share. I wanted to save. I always know I do something wrong when the wrong screen comes up. All right. Don't want to share this out. But did get Robert in there, Bibby Bobka in there, and John Fishman for his 2 entries. So without further ado, I've got that taken care of. I can move that out of the way. Okay. I am expecting a couple packages in today. So if I get what I'm looking for to come in today, I will probably highlight those packages when they come in. I'm expecting 2 nice little packages coming in. One from Eric Jabs, from Jabs Family. Buy-in on triple threads that I bought there. And then a package coming in from Gourmet Breaks, in which I got some Top Stadium Club, and I'll highlight through what I got in those packages when they do show up. I'm hoping they'll show up to date, so we'll have additional content for tomorrow for my Hall of Fame Friday content. All right, So other than that, we are going to get ready. Let me move this up into the prominent spot here. Get these stands on the ready here for our content at hand coming up. Okay. Actually, let me put those like that. Get everything lined up. And actually, before I do get in here, let me set this kind of like this for now. I think we'll get everything kind of lined up here to go into our product at hand for today, the next 3 packages. But I did go through, I thought, of course I thought wrong. It almost looked like there could have been, I've seen different things like this before, but if I can get it to focus, it did not appear to be any type of text or messaging on the outside. It's just a bunch of dots and dashes along the way, and it does follow around. I thought there might have been sometimes they'll put a fine print hidden message in there, and unless people pay attention to it, but it is not. So I was wrong in assuming that for this 2008 Topps Ken Griffey Jr. I do like the card though. It is awesome. Allen and Ginter's the United States of America, Pennsylvania. That's because Ken Griffey Jr. was born in the state of Pennsylvania. I do want to do some research on this card and see if this is like a set of cards. State of Pennsylvania, U.S. number 38, Ken Griffey Jr., Cincinnati Reds. So it is nonetheless an awesome card there, that's for sure. That'll go still in my Ken Griffey Jr. collection, my special cards for Ken Griffey Jr. So just wanted to update you there. Ethan's Elvis covers and more. Hey Donald, how you doing there, Ethan? Nice to have you popping into the live with us today. Appreciate that. Are you done for the week in school and back home? I know you're having a sale this evening. You're more than welcome to mention that in the chat if you want to. I know Ethan's going to have a sale today, later. I'll see if I'll do my best to try and be in that sale. It just depends. If my wife gets off a little bit earlier today, we will be heading to our church. It's our weekend to clean the church. But she said if she did get off early enough today, she wanted to try and clean the church up early today. So, doing homework. Okay, no problem. Understand there, Ethan. All right. So you can kind of do homework, listen to in the background there. But we are going to do like we normally do. We do have 5 people watching, 5 thumbs up. Don't forget, thummies up, thummies up, thummies up for me. So we do have 5 people watching. We will get into the It's a Hit box here, our specialized box from Left Behind. From the Blomdahl Baseball Cards box. I'll put that up here for a moment. As we pull out 3 more packs here. I'm going to get rid of, I think I'll get rid of this one. We'll do this pack here, I think. And then this pack here. And let me choose one more. We'll go with this pack here. As we continue through this box here. So doing 3 packs a day, that means we'll finish this box next week from Left Behind. So let me close this up, put the box out of the way. I do like this box. Seattle, oh my word, look for relic and autograph cards. So we will see what we get in this next street tonight around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. So that will be 7, 6, 5, 4, between 4:30 and 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time, for those that are wondering. So I will see by that time where I am. And if we are at the church, I will still try to pop in when I can. All right. So I need people in the channel to vote on which pack we would open first for these repacks here. I'll do this as either type this in the chat, either the catcher and umpire, or however you want to label that one, the checklist, and the Joe Adcock. Okay, Joe Adcock. So, got to get some votes on which pack I should open up first, and then whichever one gets the most votes, we will kind of go. We will see how things go. 6 people, 5 people watching, but let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so if we can get some votes here, we do have a few. Adcock. All right, Ethan says, Ethan says this one. Robert says this one. So we got 1 vote apiece for each of these. All right. Robert says the catcher 7 pitcher. The catcher 7 pitcher. The catcher and pitcher. Okay. Understand there. All right. So we got 1 vote for each of those. So I know there's only a few people in here. I would say I would vote for the Adcock also. So I got my vote in. So that one so far is going to be first. And if we do not get any votes, we will make that one first, that one second, and this one third. But we'll give it a little. There's only a few people here, so I'm not going to hold the voting open for too long. And it's not that big of a super deal anyway. It's just nice to get some little interaction with the people in the channel to make it even that much more fun. So we can get these lined up, and if we do not get any votes in the next minute, no, you can't vote again, Robert. 1 vote per person, so Ethan voted, I voted, you voted. If there's somebody else that's no doubt lurking about somewhere in here. But if not, as soon as my the time on the stream goes, my clock, as soon as my clock on my computer says 11:13, we'll close the voting, and we will go first pack, second pack, third pack. And it is 11:13, so that is the order we're going. So this will be third, this one will be second, and we'll do the Joe Adcock. All right. Is that trying to remember, is that the Milwaukee Red Wings or the Milwaukee Indians, or what did they call them back in the day? I don't know. The Indians. Looks like it was in 1959. He played for is it the Milwaukee Indians or the Cleveland? It's got an M on the hat. All right. So no problem. Let's go ahead and just get ready to rip into these here. See what we do got for the first pack we're going to open up here. See what kind of awesomeness we get out of these packs. So let me there we go. Ooh, look at that one. Cal Ripken Jr. Got us a nice Cal Ripken Jr. This looks like his 2nd year card. This is a 1983 top, so 2nd year Cal Ripken Jr. Sweetness there. 2nd year card for Cal Ripken Jr. Still looking mighty young there. Then we got us a nice Ken Griffey Jr. Top Stadium Club American League West leader for a 1994 Griffey card. That's a nice little hit for me. Next we've got an Alex Rodriguez. It looks like it's getting a little chilly there and he wants to bundle up. But the Seattle Mariners, Alex Rodriguez card there. All right, we've got a San Diego Gypsy Queen here. Green border. Awesomeness there. Oh, I don't think I have this Kyle Seager. With the Seattle Mariners. 2018 Kyle Seager Top Stadium Club. Put that one up there. D. Gordon. Dee Gordon is a Seattle Mariner now, but this is when he played with Miami. Dee Gordon. Awesomeness there. I'm going to put that for now with my Seattle Mariners there. Then we got a Jackie Robinson, Warrior of the Diamond. I have to see if I have this one. I don't have the complete set yet. I'm working on this one as I get the cards in. Milwaukee Braves. Okay, they were called the Milwaukee Braves. Well, it said the Indians on the bottom of that paper, but that's okay. Aroyd. Aroyd. Yeah, Alex Rodriguez. All right. And then, but there's a Hall of Famer, Jackie Robinson. Goes my Hall of Famer stand there. Ernie Banks. All right. Looks like we got a few Warrior of the Diamond cards. Ernie Banks, Hall of Famer. And then Steve Carlton, Hall of Famer. Warrior of the Diamond. Ooh, I get to check all these, see if I have these in my Warrior of the Diamond set. And then we've got, of course, a Warriors of the Diamond 10.6 War with Tom Seaver. Next, we have a Harmon Killebrew. This looks like a Hall of Famer pack here. A Hall of Famer pack here for sure. That's a Kmart 1962 to 1987 25th anniversary Harmon Killebrew there. Then we got next, oh, I like this one. History of the World Series. October 8, 1956, Yogi Berra catches the first perfect World Series game. Awesomeness there. And then we have another Yogi Berra here. October 7th, 1961, Yogi Berra, most career hits, 71 hits in World Series history. For his years being in the World Series, Yogi Berra, awesome card there. Then we've got a Juan Soto Gold Cup card. Juan Soto Gold Cup card. All right, then we've got a Sandy Alomar Jr. Sandy Alomar Jr., hot rookie card there. Boom. A Sandy Alomar Jr. 6 of 10 rookie card. That one's another cool one. And next we have a Topps Select 20. Is this 2020? 2020 Panini. Select 2020 Aaron Judge. Awesome, shiny card. I was going through my cards today and found a Bayron Laura First Bowman Purple. I'm assuming that's good. Chrome. That is purple chrome. That is nice there, John. All right, so these down here for sure. These might come to a scary sale near you soon. The ones on the bottom down here are ones that I don't necessarily PC, but I know other people in the channels do like them. I know there's somebody that likes and is a big Aaron Judge fan. Sandy Alomar Jr. rookie card, a Juan Soto Gold Cup card, and a Ty France second base, third base for the San Diego Padres. Kevin's cart collecting and more for that one. All right, so on to have to run nice cards. Hope to see everyone tonight. Yep, I will try to do my best to be there. Ethan, thanks a lot. Oh, really? Ty France is a Seattle Mariner now? He must have came in that last trade that they did with San Diego. That's right. I forgot. We did trade somebody to San Diego, and we got, I think, 1 or 2 players. So that will be cool. Ty France with the San Diego, or with the Seattle Mariners now. Boy, you're pretty up on the new stuff. I'm not as much up on the newer stuff. I do like the older cards myself personally. But thanks here, Left Behind, for popping in here. Green Gypsy Queen Ty France is Mariner now. Have you heard from Sally at all? No, I have not seen or heard from Sally Lloyd for a super, super long time. Have you heard from her? Have you seen her around the channels by chance there, John? Yeah, I have not seen Sally in quite some time. Let's move on to pack number 2 here. The catcher umpire pack. I don't know. It's a Johnny Podres. This is nice, neat packaging material. Oh my word. We got a nice little Griffey here. I see peeking out from underneath the pack here. And the winner is, top Cincinnati Reds, but that is no problem there. No problem with it being a Cincinnati Red, because it is a, oh my word, that's a nice gold card. Ken Griffey Jr. 450, 2015 tops. We'll be getting to the 2015 top set soon. Next week will be 2012. So Ken Griffey Jr., Cincinnati Reds, 2015 card. I do like that. It's a nice thicker stock, and it's a reprint card of an earlier card probably. But still, nonetheless, a nice Ken Griffey Jr. Next, we've got a Cal Ripken Jr. Baltimore Orioles, 2016 tops. I don't know if they call that like a tops gold, but it's still nice nonetheless with the Cal Ripken Jr. Then we got another Ken Griffey Jr. Seattle Mariners outfielder, post 1993 collector series. Awesome card there. Like that one left behind. Gonna leave that gold shiny card up in front there. That's my Ken Griffey Jr. stack. Another Cal Ripken Jr. and Cordero. Will Cordero, the Montreal Expos, which are no longer, but now are the Washington Nationals. But a Cal Ripken Jr. there. Like that one for sure. Here we go. This is a nice one. Ichiro. This is a 2018 reprint style Ichiro. Not really reprint, but 19. What's the throwback here on this one? I'm trying to think. But nonetheless, put him in my Hall of Fame group because Ichiro will most definitely be a Hall of Famer. Then we've got D. Gordon. There's another D. Gordon. Is this 2020? No, 2018 Optic D. Gordon, Seattle Mariners. Awesome card there. D. Gordon, the Speed Demon. Oh, there we go. Kyle Seager, Top Stadium Club, Seattle Mariners third baseman, 2015 Top Stadium Club. And yes, there is Aroyd again. Alex Rodriguez, rookie class. I don't think this is considered one of his rookie cards, but it might be. Minors has his minor league totals and his major Mariner totals. I don't know, is this one actually considered a... I thought you would enjoy that second year Cal Ripken, that chrome, and that chrome Griffey. Oh, that is a beautiful card. And of course this Cal Ripken Jr. second year card is awesome. I don't know for sure if I've got this one. I'm still working on organizing my Cal Ripken Jr. Let me put that one in front there. Second year Cal Ripken, but the Alex Rodriguez, Seattle Mariners rookie class. Let me put this A-Rod in the back here. Unfortunately, A-Rod. Edgar Martinez, Hall of Famer. And then this one... Yeah, that's right. Looking at this, I like the way this is here because they have when Edgar was in Calgary, and then with the Mariners, and then back to Calgary, and then with the Mariners, and then back to Calgary, and then with the Mariners. So this is an early Edgar Martinez card, but not his rookie card, but still awesomeness nonetheless. The Fleer 1990 card. Then we got the Buener, J-Bone, early card for him. See, him and Edgar Martinez were like battling, making it into the majors, because of course they have Jay Buener when he was with the Yankees, then Columbus, then the Mariners, and then to Calgary, and then to the Mariners again. So the story behind the stories, with some players trying to get up in the major leaguers, that's for sure. We got a Mike Schmidt, slightly miscut card there. You can see with the little line on the top there, but that sometimes is awesome there. But Philadelphia Phillies, Mike Schmidt, Hall of Famer. All right. Duke Snyder, flat brush. Oh, this is 2020 Topps Heritage. I'm almost positive I've got this one. I think I've almost got my complete set of my 2020 Heritage for the base set and the high number cards. And once I do have that complete set, I will be highlighting that when we get to the end of the the baseball era. But Duke Snyder is a Hall of Famer, right? Yep. Definitely a Hall of Famer, so I'm pretty sure I've got that one. I'll double check it a little bit later. Then we got a Tom Seaver for sure here. A Tom Seaver. Pacific Trading Cards back in the day. 1992. Tom Seaver. And then we've got here also a Houston Astros. This is a 2020. So this one I will check to make sure I have this in my... I'm pretty sure I've got the complete set on the base on these. But that is always nice to get a whole bunch of Hall of Famers to add into my Hall of Fame collection. There we got a Nolan Ryan 1992. 1992 Nolan Ryan. That's fifth year card. Awesome. Oh my word. Got an awesome one here coming up. I did not see that one coming. On the bottom here. This looks like a hand-numbered autograph of David Spikestra? Is it Spikestra? 4-Sport 1992 draft pick collection card. Congratulations, you have received a Classic Games autograph card. That is an interesting one. Probably Left Behind knows more about that one. Yeah, the Duke Snyder, yeah, is a 2020 Archives insert. Actually, it's part of the high number. It's kind of like a short print, but it can kind of be considered. But there is 324 cards in the base set with card number. I think it's 301 to 324. It's actually goes to 325, but there's one number that they didn't print. For what reason, I don't know exactly. But there is one number that was skipped. So that is still an awesome card. I can't wait to highlight the Topps Heritage set for my complete sets. But let me get this one here. Top loaded here. This autograph card. It's nice to get an autograph card once in a while here. But I don't know enough about this guy. I'll have to do a little bit of research here. But it is autographed by David Spikstra. A pitcher for... Doesn't really give enough information on the back here. But I'll have to look him up, find out some information on him. Awesome card there. The autograph. Let me set that right down here by my Ripken Juniors for an autograph card. I don't have much info on the auto. I like the hand numbered on there. Yeah, that is a nice one where they would sign it, and he undoubtedly had to number each of these out of. Can you imagine signing 1,575 of these? But you never know. If he made it big in the leagues, he would have been awesome to have a hand-numbered autograph card from him. So moving on to pack number 3, our last pack in today's stream. Let's see what we can find in this one here. All right. And Ken Griffey. Oh, I like this. I like this card. I do like this card. I do have this one, but it's nothing wrong. I like because it has Griffey in color, blowing the bubble and touching the bat. And then I kind of like the way they married up this picture with it. You know, he is undoubtedly swinging the bat here, and you have the bat down here. So the bat is definitely there as he's swinging to hit that ball. But I always like this card. This is an awesome Ken Griffey Jr. Awesome Ken Griffey Jr. There's Ken Griffey Jr. Daddy. There's Ken Griffey Jr. Daddy when he played with the Cincinnati Reds. Oh, this is an earlier card with his dad. This is 1981. 1981 Fleer card. 1981 Fleer. But it does show when his dad played in the minor leagues. Bradenton, Sioux Falls, Tampa, Three Rivers, Indianapolis. Then he went to the Reds, Indianapolis. And then he was with the Reds, where he played most of his career also. So Ken Griffey Jr. Daddy there. I'm going to set that one next to his son there. There we go. In the house, Cal Ripken Jr. in the house. There we go. Cal Ripken Jr., shortstop, Oriole Park, Camden Yards. All right, Top Stadium Club. And then this one is a Ichiro Pinnacle. Ichiro Pinnacle. Number 72, New York Baseball Card Club, when he was just that short stint with the New York Yankees. New York Yankees, Ichiro card. Randy Johnson with the Seattle Mariners. All right. Hall of Famer, though. It'll go in my Hall of Fame's collection there. Alex Rodriguez, again, gold border. Reprint card from 2010, I believe. The card your mom threw out, Aroyd. But a Seattle Mariner at that time in his career. Jay Buener, J-Bone, 1992, Upper Deck. Then we've got a 1992 Edgar Martinez, Hall of Famer. A 2017 Topps Kyle Seager with the Seattle Mariners. Put that Kyle Seager in the front there. Mark Langston with the Seattle Mariners, Diamond King, 1987. Mark Langston with the Seattle Mariners. I don't want to do it every card because I know I'm going to get a lot of Seattle Mariners in these packs. Marco Gonzalez with the Donruss 2020. I think he's going to be taking like Felix Hernandez's place as one of their ace pitchers for the Seattle Mariners. Marco Gonzalez. Let me put him in front of Kyle Seager right now. Here we go. Draft pick Jim Abbott. Jim Abbott draft pick card. I think this is kind of classed as his rookie card for Jim Abbott. But awesome card there for Jim Abbott. Let me put him in that stack right there. Future Stars, Aaron Judge. There you go, an Aaron Judge Gold Cup card. This is an early card for Judge. Second-year card. This is a second-year card for Aaron Judge. There we go. The die cuts for the 2020 Topps. Sandy Koufax. Let me get that in a penny sleeve just so the edges and corners don't get dinged as easy. Does have a little ding down here. Got a little bit, but try and save it from future damage. Put that in there. Sandy Koufax there, die cut. Then we got a John Schmaltzy. 1989 Schmaltzy, Hall of Famer. And we've got a Donruss Diamond Kings Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber with the Cleveland Indians, 2019 Donruss for Shane Bieber. All right, so there we have it. Seattle Mariners. Thanks, there, left behind. Appreciate that. So other than that, you know what? Just real quick, because I don't know if I got any notification, but hold on a second. I wanted to, because my post office may have started doing something real quick here. Let me just take a peek. I am going to run downstairs and see if I get, because they said I might get some packages delivered today. Mariners outfielder Kyle Lewis is a candidate for the All-MLB team. Vote now. Okay, I have to check that one out, but let me look back here real quick. No, let me just double check my front door, make sure I see if I got any packages delivered. I will be right back, okay? Oops. Let me go here real quick, sorry. Let's see, did I get Criterium Racer? I can't remember if I got Criterium Racer or not. Sorry about that, Criterium Racer. I missed that super chat almost. But thank you for that super chat for the $1 there, Criterium Racer. Let me get your entry into our Wheel of Names for today. Let me get you into the Wheel of Names for today. There we go. Got that in there. Go ahead and save that. Okay, come on. And save. And I just want to check, see if I got a package left at my front door, because on later parts of the week, they have been doing... Oh, and I can't remember if you heard me mention, I'll talk about this when I get back real quick there, left behind. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. Nope. Nothing new. Okay, so that means the packages will be here later today. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to turn the camera around, say my signature goodbye, and then we will see you all tomorrow for our Hall of Fame Friday, and continuing on with Left Behind Times Part 9. Left Behind Times Part 9 will be tomorrow. And then don't forget, Saturday is my Fall Harvest Scary Sale. Okay, my Fall Harvest Scary Sale is tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, Saturday, I mean. And it will be at 12:30 p.m. It will be a different time, but it will be at 12:30 p.m. What we will do on that day too is most likely it'll be the Left Behind Times part 10. So we will do his 3 packs first as we're waiting, because I think Chuck Dupree said he would be home by about 1 o'clock. Have a good one, Uncle D. Oh, by the way, yeah, Left Behind. Also, I did go to Dearman's channel and I watched his video when he opened up your box that you sent to me and that I sent to him. So Dearman got Uncle D's box, and I seen he did do the. I see he had his mom help him open the box, and he did go through all the cards and stuff. That was kind of fun. I think that was the longest video I've ever seen Dearman do on his channel. But I think he was just so excited to get that nice box from you. So I think he really did appreciate that. And by the way, earlier I did talk about this. I know you probably watched the replay and stuff with the lesson, but I did check this really close up. Kind of showed up a little bit I thought there were words on here, but there are not words. It's just a bunch of lines, dashes, and dots. I don't think it's anything like Morse code or anything, but that's what's around the border there. I was thinking without using a magnifier so much that it might have said something, but I don't believe it does not say anything. So I was wrong on that, but it still is a nice, beautiful card. I do like that card very, very much. So just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on that one. It is a beautiful card. I like that card. It's kind of like a tie-in with him and his where he was born. He was born in Pennsylvania, not too far from where Eric Jabs lives, I think. So Eric and John Jabs. But nice card nonetheless. I'll put that in a separate collection that I have with Ken Griffey Jr. with special cards. But other than that, okay. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know I did watch Dearman's video that he created on the package that we did work together on sending to him. So that was awesome, awesome, awesome. So without further ado, this has been Donald Blomdahl, Hall of Fame veteran sports cards and collectibles, having been live to you this Thursday with our play ball lectures, part 7, baseball grows by hitting the road, and family mail call for Left Behind Times, part 8. So did appreciate doing this. Appreciate all the nice cards we're getting out of this box that you sent there, Left Behind. I really, really, really do appreciate it, and looking forward to see what other types of things I have in store in this box. So it is fun. It is interesting. I really do appreciate everything that you have done in putting and preparing and creating this box. It's just been amazing so far. So without further ado, I am going to sign off for now, and we will see you all tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel at 10:30 a.m. for our Hall of Fame Friday and our next installment in Left Behind Times, part 9. Plus, I should have some more family mail call packages to go through also. So until then, you all have a great and wonderful day. Hopefully, we might see you all at Ethan's Elvis Covers and More, his sale, later this afternoon, early this evening for those on the East Coast. So until then, take care, Lord bless you, and we will see you all around the channels. Bye for now.